In this week's episode of Lips Garage, we are back on the Mustang. Alright, so we got the floor mostly clean, got the car pushed out, got the engine bay almost as clean as we're going to get it. I've got one tool I'm trying to find, but got a lot of things cleaned up and cleared out. Still debating whether or not to try and take the pressure washer to it. It is almost January in Wisconsin, even though we don't have any snow this week. It is cold enough to have that be an issue. So we got a little bit to do here. He started pulling the carpet out of the floor. We got some work to do there. I got to get a new carpet knife for that. And then we got one more upgrade that wasn't on the list and I forgot about until I found it as an option. I don't think we have it anywhere, but we wanted to change the wiper arms because the old factory style just has the pin and I like the J-hook style. And then in another project, I had this 94 F-150 that I ended up taking the engine out. The engine's actually sitting right over there. And I took a look just you know, who knows. And the wiper arms off that truck do work on the Mustang. So one free upgrade, done. But I've got a few other things to get done today, and then we will get back into doing the last little bit of cleaning. Still waiting on the coil springs, which are 3 miles away from me, but I won't see for 2 days because of the holiday. But progress. All right, we got a new day, which means we got new parts. So we're looking at the control arms. We finally got the lowering springs in. Overall, we're probably not going to have much change in height, honestly, because of how wore out these guys are. There is a little bit of a difference, hard to see in the video. This is a little bit shorter, but it's new. It's going to be stiffer, and especially when we get the torque of the new engine in, it's going to hold a lot better. Taking a look at the control arms. These are just a stamped steel unit. I mean, they're fine, especially for the 4-cylinder. It's not kicking out much power. You know, the new units are actual tubular metal, so a lot stronger. One of the nice things is the V8 axle that we took out did have the provision for the quad shock, and we're not going to be using that. I could if I wanted to, if I remember right. I think they said that the mounting hardware, the mounting location is really easy to use, but with the tubular arms, you don't have to worry about it. They mount up in the factory locations. Everything's the same. Gives you new hardware for it. And this will have the new springs. And then we've got the rear end. Trying to decide while we have it out if we're going to do the 5-lug swap with the rear end out, because it might make it a little bit easier. But we're going to at least get the control arms started before we run out of time and energy today. So we've got the upper spring pocket. We've got, let's see, where am I at? So here's the mount for the upper, and then the mount for the lower is within this box. So just a couple of bolts to put them in. We'll put them in hand tight for now, and then we'll torque them all down once we get everything done. We did have to cut the remainder of the exhaust out, which is sitting over there. So it gives us a little more room. And it is kind of rusty, but so far most of it seems to be surface rust. There are a couple of spots that are through, but those will be easy to take care of when we get that far. But moving on. All right, so we have these started and hand tight. So lower. This provision here is for when we add a sway bar later. That's where that will mount. And then we've got the upper, and then, pardon the dizzying videography. Okay. Lower and upper spring seats. Nice, clean, new parts. So next, we're going to work on the differential and get prepped for the 5-lug swap. So we're going to go ahead and do that off the vehicle. Makes it a little bit easier to get to. So for right now, it is an aftermarket cover. So it does have its own drain in it. So right now we've got the drain pulled, and we're just going to let that do its thing. We're going to go inside, thaw out, and we'll see how much more we can get done tomorrow. All right, new day in the shop. I'll show you where we're at so far. So we got the cover off the differential. One of the things that I really like about the aftermarket covers is it does give you the stoppers here, and they go up against the main housings. So when you do have a little bit of flex under hard acceleration, it keeps everything kind of planted together. So those are nice. But had to drain out, let it drip out overnight, got the plug out, and then took the cover off. We're looking here. Now with this pin, we know we have a limited slip differential. I knew that by pushing it around, it just didn't, spin freely, turn freely. I had to work at it to get it to come around the corner when I was rolling the diff. So I knew it was some type of limited slip. I have to check the tag on the differential, which I wasn't seeing, but basically what you do is you count the number of teeth on this one, you count the number of teeth on that one, and then you get your ratio. Sometimes they are stamped in here. I'm not seeing anything yet, but when I get it pulled apart. So what we need to do essentially, I don't remember where I set them, but we do have the new axles. We've got to pull out the gear set to be able to release a C-clip. Once you release a C-clip, you can pull the axle out. And then we will, looks like Austin found the axles. They were in the back of the car. So they're the same length side to side, so it doesn't matter which is which. But once we pull it out, we'll inspect the bearing and inspect the seal, see if we need to replace them. The kit did come with it. I'm gonna wait, if they're in good shape, I'm gonna wait to replace them until I end up doing more work. But this is what we've got. We've got a little set screw there. When you pull that out, that drops this pin, which is what kind of locks everything together. Then I can pull this spring out, and then you push in on the axle a little bit and it releases a C-clip. Easy way to do it is with a magnet, which I have on the other end of the car I can grab. And it's just literally a matter of pulling out one, putting the other one in. The brakes themselves stay the same, but we do have the new drum for the 5-lug. So let me get this apart and move on to the next. All right, so we got the first one in. I got to play a little bit with the lug stud or the wheel studs to get them set right, but we do have the 5-lug in. So I will see if I can do this one-handed and show you what it takes. So go ahead and come around, buddy. Let me rotate the axle so I can get to it. All right, so get the magnet, push down in here. Now push the axle in, Austin. So there, I already started to lose the C-clip. So let me try to rotate the gear, see if I can at least get it to fall through. Not really. With this spring in here, it definitely makes things interesting. There we go. Now I got it all the way through. And it fell, and it's right. It fell, and it's right there. So when you hear them talk about a C-clip axle, this is what they're talking about. You've got a groove in the end of the axle. This fits in it, and then you pull the axle away, seat it, and then when this pin goes in, it locks everything together. So the issue with this is if you have an issue with your C-clip and it breaks like during a race or something, then your whole axle and wheel assembly falls out of the car. It just walks right out of the car. So on a lot of your 9 inches, they have what's called a C-clip eliminator kit, which will actually give you a bracket, a clamp that bolts to the end of the axle tube that holds the axle. So if something were to break inside, you don't actually lose your wheel. All right, Austin, go ahead and come pull this axle out the rest of the way. So let's see if I can do it without breaking the light. We've got it there, and there it goes. Now, usually you want to have a rag ready so you can not pull any of the old stuff out, any of the lube or anything. Let me come through. Don't listen, don't listen. I don't have permission to have the song. I forgot to turn the music off. Don't listen, don't listen. Okay, there we go. Nobody listened to that, right? Okay, we're good. So again, here's the replacement axle. They're shipped pretty well to make sure there's no damage or anything. somewhere around here we had
Up on the
a
left.
kniff. There you go. So these come from, I mean, you can do it a couple different ways. You can have one come from a Ranger. You can have one come from an Aerostar. You can have a couple of them from a Ranger. There's a couple different ways to get this way that you need it to. But here, let me have you grab the camera. Figure out what I did with the rest of the wheel studs. And back over there, go gently kick them to me. So there is one spot of clearance when you're putting these in, and that's going to be where one hits up against the wheel cylinder. So I put the wheel studs in just so they're in, but you're going to have to leave one out until you get the axle pulled back because there's not enough room to put the C-clip on. So I will get these put in. Here, you can have that back, buddy. And then once the axle is in and set, then you can put that last one in. There are a few different tools for setting wheel studs. Basically what I like to do is just take a open end, flat end acorn lug nut and then put the flat end towards the axle flange. And that's usually enough to be able to draw it through. And you're talking something that's $1.35. You know, you're not having to spend $60 on a special tool. I've done it with washers as well, but a lot of times it'll deform the washer and just ruin the lug nut and everything like that. So go get a flat lug nut. I'll show you what I'm talking about when I get that far. Oh, that one's not gonna work. There we go. And then the other key is when you're putting it in, you want to put the axle in as straight as you can. So you're not gouging the end of the axle, you're not gouging the tube or anything. Austin, go around to the other side of the car with the camera if you could, please. Somebody should clean up around here. All right, so what I'm looking at here is any deformities, any signs of leaking, any signs of tearing, any signs of folding. There's not. I reach in here and feel the bearings, make sure there's no gritty, and they move easy, and they all do. So for right now, for this level of build, I'm just gonna leave those to get it in and get it going. When I pull this back out and do a little more work to it, maybe change the rear gears to something a little bit taller, we'll see. Then I can do a little bit more rebuilding, but for right now, for what we're doing, this is fine. So go ahead and take that back. I'm going to start this in. Make sure my open spot is over the wheel cylinder. And then you're going to move around till you find your hole. And then it snaps in with the teeth. Then I will come back into here. Again, apologize for the wonky camera. All right, now that I'm back in, I will grab the C-clip, work it back into the axle. All right, C-clip is on. Go ahead, pull it out, Austin. Okay. And then we just want to see that seat in. That part is finished. Now let me rotate this back up and find out where I've got my lock pin bolt. which the lock pin bolt goes in, and I just lost the seat clip. This is where it starts getting fun and challenging. Part of that is on me. Did I lose the seat clip? Maybe it's just stuff shifting around. All right.
You gonna pull it out?
Not yet. I'm gonna try and, oh, it was a gear that moved. All right, I'm gonna have to do this off camera because I need too many hands, but I'll explain what happened as soon as I'm done. All right, so I got the pin back in, but what happens is you've got, let's see if I can get the flashlight a better. So you've got 4 gears in there, one on either side, one top to bottom. They're called spider gears, and those are what actually engage the axles when they're spinning around. So when you're trying to line things up, if those shift at all, then you don't have alignment of your main shaft any longer. So I had to, not as hard with an open differential, limited slip, you've got tension in there. So I had to kind of rock it a few times, but I've got it in. I've got my lock pin back in. So at this point, we're ready to set the wheel studs. And then I'm gonna clean this out a little bit with all the old grease and everything like that, and then get ready to put the diff cover back on. All right, so we have the differential put back together, got the cover back on it, got the 5 lugs on, drums just slide on. I'm gonna have a different video a little bit later about resetting the rest of those. Had an issue with my cheap tool, go figure, but I'll have another video showing that when I finish that up. But for right now, we're going to slide it underneath and see if we can start attaching it and getting a little bit closer. Through the magic of video, everything's in. It took us quite a few times. We had to switch the upper control arms, took a lot of up and down and up and down and up and down, but everything is finally in. Now, the set of wheels that matches the front is currently on my Fairlane, so I'm going to try something real quick just for the sake of trying. It will not be permanent. Hold that thought. All right. These are the wheels for my Fairlane. They're not staying on here, but it does work enough to make it a roller again. So, yeehaw. That part's done. Now we gotta do is put the engine back in. That will come later. It's dark, it's cold, we're tired, we're ornery. We have had supper. Let's get this engine in.
It feels like 0.
All right, you go ahead and grab the tail end. I'm gonna push and you aim.
You want to try and get it like that?
Yeah. Well, when we get it over the
Bumper.
nose, then we'll be able to crank it down the tip, and that'll help.
So I sent Isaac and Meyer, my 2 friends, the degrees. They're like 13, feels like 0, whatever.
This is going to be interesting because this is all the height I have, and we're still a little bit. So we're gonna have to play with the. So go ahead and hop back in. Yay! And then what we're aiming for, these knobs.
Yes. Go in those holes?
Go in here.
Yep. That's the camera, correct?
Yeah.
Cool. So I sent them the picture, and I just got a text from Isaac saying, Meyer, I think he's playing Long Dark IRL.
Lawn darts.
Long Dark, which is a video game.
Gotcha. Come on.
Even though this is not nearly as bad as what it's usually worse.
Oh yeah.
That G5 day, horrible. Absolutely frigid.
Okay. Got it? Hold your end up a little bit. Oh, we might just clear. Okay.
Alright. Okay, you start tipping now. You have a little bit more room.
Yep. Alright. Ready? Yep.
This falls will it kill me?
Huh?
This falls will it kill me?
No.
Not completely.
You may want it to. It'll just hurt real bad.
Just saying, go all or nothing.
Nike. It's all or
Just
nothing.
do it.
See, this is where we're starting to hit on the cow.
Yeah, you can go forward more. So go forward before you start tipping it.
Oh, that's my handle.
You need to hold it?
Sure.
Alright. We are hitting the end of the engine phase.
The firewall is what that's called.
My hand right now is a buffer. You're going the wrong way. Yep. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. You're going left.
I'm going right.
You're going left on my side. I think I should just clean up the transmission a little bit though. Well, we're not painting it, so.
No, we'll do more of that stuff when we put the other motor in.
Not that motor.
351, if we do.
Just how it's just gonna get.
It's just as I spin it around, it hits threads.
Keep going, we're almost there. Not really. I think we're pivoting on the bumper right now. You can come forward a little bit more if you want to.
One more clearance again. Oh, watch your shoe. We're dripping.
Ew, he's bleeding.
Alright, hang on. We're hung up on the drain plug. There it goes.
No. Why don't we drain this thing?
Because I forgot we didn't.
Well, we're draining it now.
Just add to the collection.
Crime scene number 2.
Where's the Bachman Turner overdrive? You ain't seen that.
I've seen worse. Doesn't make it any less cold. I'm gonna stand on the game around.
Yeah, you're going to start. You might have to actually put some weight on that end because we're about
Yeah,
done.
I was going to.
Oh, okay. Straddle it.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, hold on.
That's as far in as I can go.
Yeah, so you can probably go down a little bit,
Yep.
and then we can finally clear.
Ready?
Yep.
Careful. Coming down.
Okay, stop. Let me get out.
Yep.
Funnily enough, I'd have like 4 dimes if I've done this before. Sorry, if I had a dime for my out of the engine bay, I'd have like 10.
Whoa!
Ah!
Too far.
Stop it!
Alright.
If we drop this, I'm not gonna get another one. Your words exactly.
Start cranking this back to level it out again.
Want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Torque.
Very close. We're very, very close.
More?
Yeah.
Am I going the right way?
All the way level, yeah. When we make it and we're a real shop, they have these that are electric. You just push a button and it does it.
Of course they are. Well, we're men. I don't think it's going anywhere.
It is, it's going.
We gotta sit in the cold, dark, cold, dark. It's really not. The threads aren't going anywhere. Ow.
Go here. Keep a hold of this front. I'm gonna lower it down a little bit more again and keep pushing forward. Watch your head because that's gonna come right down on you.
I'm clear.
You ready?
Yep. Okay, can we move forward anymore?
Nope, I'm all the way up against the
Okay,
bumper.
stop. Okay, we're have to push it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Ready? Sit down.
Lower it more.
Get your whole
I'm
lining
like
up.
right there. Lower it a little bit more. Okay, stop. Okay, can you jack it up a little bit? Just because, like, it's like just lining it up at that point. Okay, I'm in.
Push it towards me a little bit if you can. Attention.
You miss it?
Push it towards me. Nope. Don't. Like the whole thing's got to come towards. I push it on the side. Are you still in on yours?
Yeah, I'm still in.
Okay. Okay, towards me, the whole thing.
I'm kind of caught up in my threads over here.
Right, let me get over here. Have you slowly, ever so slowly lower it.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Oh. Okay.
Perfect. 6 bolts, right?
Huh? That's
2.
yeah. All right. Go ahead and climb inside
In here or
in the car.
What do you need me to do?
Watch the shifter. Make sure the shifter is going to come up through the hole.
Good.
And which way I need to go if it doesn't.
You need to go to the right of the car, towards you. All right, go up. That should be good. Yeah, you're good. You good? You're ready to top now. Sure. That'll be good.
All right, now. Right now we're just putting it.
Your phone fell. The wind probably. Please don't be broken. Please don't be broken. Good.
What are you doing? All right, we'll be right back. Alrighty, so I got to take Austin back in roughly 8 hours. We're leaving, so we didn't get quite as much done as we wanted to, but we got more done than we thought we were gonna. I gave you the quick recap.
Come on.
So starting with the rear, we wanted to do the 5 lug swap, which we got done. We replaced the axle. We replaced the differential, that'd be the better one. And while we were in there, we replaced the upper and lower control arm, as well as a better set of springs. So we still have a little bit to do. We've got to actually tighten everything up. I've got to finish getting the brakes installed and everything like that, but that part is done. We got a little bit cleaned up in the interior. We got all the old janky carpet pulled out, starting to pull out some of the factory sound deadener because it's just flaking off. And that metal looks really, really good for a floor pan of this vintage. Still got to dink with the front seats a little bit, but that one is in at the moment. And then with all the other issues we were facing, trying to get things switched out, we ended up just pulling out the 4-cylinder automatic, and we have the 5-liter with a T5 sitting in its home. Now, we still got some work to do. I've got an intake, I've got a carb for it, got to figure out what we're going to do for front accessories. We still got to rewire everything. We got to get the clutch cable hooked up. We got to get the pedal assembly in. We got to finish getting the rag joint assembled. I do have headers for it. The motor mounts are shot, so I got to replace them. And then we do have the dual hump cross member, but this is not fitting in the bracket in this car. So I got to do some research and see what's going on there, if there's a special cross member you use or whatnot. I was really hoping that would just slap in. But he is in his car. Got an idea where the shifter is going to go. I got to get the actual shifter. I set it in that wonderful box called Somewhere. We got to finish getting the interior stuff done. But this will wrap up this series of videos on drive shaft prep for a Fox body.
How to fix a drive shaft 101.
The next series of videos will be the hot rod power tour prep. So look forward to those upcoming.
Better be ready.
Alrighty. All right, as always, I thank everybody that does watch these. It's been a fun couple of weeks hanging out with my kid and getting some work done on his car. It's cold. It's January in Wisconsin. We just had the turn of the year. It's cold, so it's slow going. But, you know, like I said, we got some work done. It's really fun kind of seeing this thing take shape with what we're going to do. But, again, I appreciate everybody that does tune in and watch these. I know you've got plenty of things you can do with your time, so it is always super appreciated. Until then, everybody have fun, stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.